Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you are someone who struggles with taking action, who is struggling with discipline or doing the hard things, then this video is exactly for you. Because today we are going to talk about procrastination, what is the root cause, and how you can overcome it. So, first of all, let us talk about what is procrastination. Now, in simple terms, procrastination is just the act of delaying or postponing things. Now, a lot of times when we have this habit of procrastination, it is linked to laziness or indiscipline or being unmotivated or ambitionless. But let me tell you, that is not the case. Procrastination is not laziness. Had you been lazy, you would have not been watching this video to understand procrastination and finding steps on how you can heal it. So, if laziness is not the cause of procrastination, then what is? Let's find out. Now, let me tell you, procrastination is just a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism for your stress, for your fear, for your anxiety. Let me explain it to you in simple terms. Now, all of us have some sort of problem in our life. It may be something like a fight with your parent or best friend or your partner. It may be a health issue to yourself or to one of your loved ones. And there can be n number of problems that is causing stress to you. Now, when you go to work, what happens is that you are already carrying this ball of stress subconsciously, which is hanging around your head all the time. And then you open your laptop or you open your notebook and you figure out that, okay, I have 10 emails to reply, I have 4 calls to make, or you have an important deadline and you have to finish the report immediately. Now, all of these things require focus, concentration, and all of these things, somehow in some or the other way, are stressful and scary. Now, when you tell your brain to do something which is scary or stressful, your brain is like, wait, I already have this stress hanging on my head, and you want to add more stress? You want to do something which will fire the fear that is already in my head? No. So, what you do is maybe open up Instagram and tell yourself that I want just one reel to relieve that stress in my head, and then I will start working. But guess what? You don't stop at one reel. Nobody does. For some people, it's a reel. For some people, it's a movie. For some people, it's doing household chores. It can be anything. It can be anything which will stop you from doing the hard things, from taking the important steps which will help you reach your goals. So, procrastination is basically just a stress relief mechanism. And hence, you can rewire your brain to think positively about yourself and get started and take actions. And for that, I have 4 tips for you today, which will help you get started. Now, tip number 1 is label your emotion. Now, as we have already talked, at the time when you tend to procrastinate, there is deep fear or anxiety or doubt in your mind, which is stopping you from taking action. So, in that moment, what you have to do is pause, just pause and acknowledge the fear. Just label the emotion and whatever it is that you are feeling. So, say for example, you have to write a big report and you don't want to get started, you just want to play some game instead of writing the report. Now, before picking your phone and playing the game, pause for a minute and think, why is it that I don't want to write the report? Most of the times, we answer questions like, I'm tired, or I'm bored, or I'm not feeling like doing it. But if you dig deep, you will understand that this is not the reason. If you're tired, then how come you're going to play the game? You have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm afraid of? And where is this fear coming from? For the example of writing a report, a simple answer can be that I don't know how to write a report. Think I'm not good at the research. I think I'm not good at writing. I think I don't know how to write. So that will help you see the clear picture. That will help you see the reality, make you more aware of it, and help you take actions now. Now, say for example, if your fear is that I don't know how to write a report or how I don't know how to research, you can always go and find out a tutorial or learn how to do it. But if your fear is more like, I think people will not like my work, then that is not in your control. Then you can just let go of it. And then you know that it is not a you problem, because what people think of your work is not in your control. So now you can start taking action to do something, to get detached from the outcome and instead start taking steps to improve your work. Labeling the emotion and acknowledging your fear also gives you the time to break out of the cyclical loop of procrastination and running from doing the important things. Now, tip number 2 is create a positive identity for yourself. Now, sometimes we give ourselves labels like I am not a runner, or I am bad at maths, or I just cannot do creative tasks. And these identities make us afraid to get started. These labels that we give ourselves, these identities that we create for ourselves become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes what happens is that we have one bad relationship and we just label ourselves that we are not good at relationships at all. Sometimes we have one bad test and we just conclude that we are not good at in our academics. And when you give yourself this kind of negative identities, it is very difficult to get out of this. And let me tell you a story about myself. So a couple of months ago, I decided that I want to run. So I did everything. I got new clothes to start running. I got new shoes. But every time I went on the track, I just froze. I could walk fast, really fast, but I just could not take my first step to run. And I kept wondering what is the problem. So I had to dig deep and ask myself what exactly is the reason that is stopping me from running. So the backstory is that I have never been a good runner. And any time that I have ever participated in a race, I have ended up coming last. So what happened is that my brain had already created an identity for myself that I am not a runner. Not that I'm not a good runner, just the identity that I am not a runner at all and that I am not meant to run, I cannot run. So every time I wanted to start learning it, my brain just did not let me break that identity and do something which is not in alignment with that. And identity's self labeling is that powerful. But the good news is that labeling can also work the opposite way. Just like negative labels can stop us from doing things, positive identities can actually help us get started. Now, say, for example, whenever I am experiencing any kind of self doubt, something that I love to tell myself is that I am an experimenter. That's it. Now, I don't even know exactly whether experimenter is even a word, but I'll just remind myself that I am someone who loves to experiment new things. So if I'm starting something new, I will just see how I feel, how it goes, and whether I really like it or not, whether I am really good at it or not. And that does not put the pressure on me to be good at it in the very first go. It just aligns with my identity that I want to try new things, that I like to try new things, and that I just experiment with stuff. And someone who likes to do new things and likes to experiment with different kind of things will not be stuck in procrastination for long. That person will be just excited to try out new things. If we can really rewire our brains and change our identities, or rather create positive identities for ourselves, we can change our behavior and eventually end up taking action towards our goal. So make sure you align your identity with respect to your goal. One of the strongest forces in human personality is to stay consistent with your identity. So make sure you create an identity that is in alignment with your goal. So if we can change our labels, we can often change the underlying fear, and then we can stop procrastinating and finally take action for what matters to us. Now, tip number 3 is just do one thing. Now, this may sound very, very cliche, but trust me, it works. Whenever you are stuck, just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and begin the task. Begin before you feel confident and begin before your conditions are absolutely perfect. Now, one of the very important reasons why we procrastinate is self-doubt. Self-doubt is one of the key fears that stands between us and our goals. The fear that we are just not good enough to do the thing. And more often than not, whenever you are stuck in this fear of self-doubt, what happens is that you keep overthinking and finally reach to a state of analysis paralysis. So to reduce the effect of self-doubt, one thing you can do is just ask yourself, could I just get started on this thing even if I'm not 100% sure how to do it, or even if I'm not 100% confident about it? And most often than not, the answer is yes. You can do at least one small thing. You can get started on one of the minor tasks, even if you're not 100% prepared or 100% confident about it. Like, you don't have to already be a bodybuilder to work out for an hour. Like, you would not need your first draft of a book to be a masterpiece itself. Now, whenever it is that you're trying something new, the idea that you should only start doing it when you feel confident is itself a blocker. And the solution is just one: make a start. And as you keep going, the path will be clearer and clearer to you, and you will make progress. And to think about it, this actually is an issue with a lot of smart and successful people. What happens is these people are just so used to doing great and being the best for so long that whenever they start something new, they are just afraid to fail because they are not used to failing. But you have to keep in mind that whenever you start something new, you are going to be bad at it. And not just once, but twice, thrice, or maybe 10 times. But 11th time, you will be good. And you cannot be good at anything if you are not bad at it first. You have to do it while you are still bad at it. And that is the only way to be good at something. But the problem with high achievers is like they want to be good at day one. They want to be perfect whenever they get started. And that in itself leads to a lot of self doubt and is a big blocker. And hence, to overcome it, there is only one strategy: just lower the bar, bring down your standards because you are just a beginner. Stop comparing your first draft to somebody's patent book. Just stop comparing your first piece of painting with somebody's lifelong masterpiece. Just embrace mediocrity and recognize that you are going to be bad at something sometime. The only thing you can do at this time is focus on small tasks, break down your bigger tasks into smaller, manageable chunks, and create a realistic schedule without distractions and reward yourself when you complete those tasks. Tip number 4 is stop spotlighting yourself. One of the other major reasons why people tend to procrastinate is that they're afraid of what people will think of their work. They are afraid of the judgment. And the solution to that is just one: stop spotlighting yourself. As humans, we are very good at playing the status game. We are so afraid to damage our reputation that sometimes we start defending it even before we have built any reputation. And this means that we always keep believing that the spotlight is on us and that everybody constantly is judging us and analyzing our each and every move. But the reality is each person out there is thinking the same about themselves, and every person is just scrutinizing themselves, judging themselves, or analyzing themselves and their actions, and nobody is actually thinking about you. People are just anxious about even the tiniest change or mistake in their behavior. But the truth is, everybody is just concerned about themselves. Nobody is thinking about you. They're not spending as much time thinking about you as you are. So this entire spotlight effect can be reduced with just one reminder: no one cares. This one small mindset shift can change the entire perspective of how you see yourself and your work. This is like one of the easiest ways to overcome your anxiety related procrastination. The more you do stuff, the more you realize that no one actually cares and gives a damn about you, and the more you start becoming independent of the opinions of others. And so, very soon, you are independent and free of the opinions and judgment of others and start taking actions based on what is true to you. So, to summarize this video, I would like to say that the solution is not to get rid of fear, but it is to have the courage to face it. And that can be done by 4 steps. 1 is acknowledge your fear. 2, create a positive identity for yourself. 3rd, do one thing even when you're still not confident about it. And 4th, just stop spotlighting yourself. I'm sure if you deploy these tips, you are going to be able to come out of procrastination and get started on doing the stuff that really matters to you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you would like to see more videos on self-help and productivity, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.